Hi, babes. Welcome back to the Chase Life with Kelly show. I am your host, Kelly Chase. Today's going to be a short episode, so you could listen to it while you're in the shower, while you're driving, while you're on a little baby walk, just while you're cooking breakfast in the morning. But this just was on my heart because it's something that one thing that I'm going to share with you is something that I'm currently working on going deeper because I have done this work for the last handful of years, but again, going deeper with it because I recognize maybe where I feel stuck. But the other thing I want to say, so two main things that we're going to talk about is like manifestation and somatics. I feel like there's buzzwords around it. People don't really understand what it is or what those are, what they mean. So I want to give you maybe my perspective. And, this is again, the work I've been doing for since 2018. And it's really, really transformed my life. And so I hope that you'll take a little nugget of this and apply it towards your life and start just having the awareness and start taking the correct actions or taking proper actions in order to make changes in your life. So many of us kind of live in this, or I did this before I started, subconscious reprogramming work or somatic work. Obviously, my work started with subconscious reprogramming and all the mindset work. And to be honest, mindset is in all parts of your body. So this could be a little confusing, but let's think of it as the brain, right? Like in your head. So we have the mind in our head, but then we have our emotional body too. Although, yes, there's like a mind, quote unquote, programming database, a hub in every cell of our body. Let's just, again, think about it like our head and our body. So, with subconscious reprogramming, you're kind of just focused on the mind, like the thoughts, the feelings, pretty much the thoughts, more or less the thoughts that you're encountering or thinking of the feeling, thinking of the emotion. So when we get into like manifestation, like people can sit there, like, okay, there's the thing that's like, oh yeah, I could like sit on my couch and just like manifest something into my life. And, through meditation and visualization and using your imagination, of course, yes, those things, like if you think it, it can appear. However, yes, you have to do some actions in order to bring it in. Part of that work, though, of bringing it in can include subconscious reprogramming, so overcoming limiting beliefs, because if you have anything stuck, it's kind of like clogging the pipes. Like you want water to come through the pipes, but if there's a lot of sediment in there, you have to think about like sediment as like limiting beliefs and fears and doubts and worries and that kind of thing, and the stories that you've created for yourself. Though that's all those like limiting beliefs. So then the water can't get through if there's too much sediment in the pipe. So you got to like clean out the pipe in order to let the water flow through. That being said, um, with manifestation, you got to kind of do that work too. You have to clean out the pipes. So, one thing that we all have ran off of is the idea of like, when I have the thing, then I can do the thing to be the thing. So when I have the money, then I can, launch the business and then I'll be an entrepreneur, right? Or then I'll be a six-figure earner. Versus this is where the imagination and visualization, manifestation all comes together. Again, cleaning out the pipes and doing this work of imagining yourself as you've already become that. Okay. So how does like it's instead of being have do be, once I have the thing, then I'll do the thing and then I'll be the thing. You have to position yourself as the be do have. You become the person, then you do the thing, and then you have the thing. So if you are, let's just say you're desiring like to make six figures next year. Okay, so how does the six-figure earner show up every day? What does her routine look like? What does her maybe what does her career look like? Does she have a business? Like, is she trying to launch a business? Like, what is it's like you reverse engineer. How does she show up? Does she work out? Does she eat healthy? Does she surround herself with high vibrational people, like-minded, high-minded, other entrepreneurial women? Or does she go binge drinking every single night and like, or just binge reality TV shows. Nothing wrong with reality TV shows, but there is some toxic level to everything. Too much of everything is too much, right? It can be toxic. So you have to think about when you're manifesting, again, bringing that all together. So undoing, so you're rewiring, you're reprogramming the subconscious mind by cleaning out the limiting beliefs, replacing them with positive thoughts, positive affirmations, and really questioning yourself, okay, how would I, as a six-figure earner, be showing up? Or how, like, how am I a six-figure earner? Like, even saying that, like, and asking yourself in present tense as if it already is. So that's the biggest thing with manifestation. Be the thing before you actually are it. Because our subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between the past, present, and future, or the past and the future, more or less, because it thinks everything is in the present. So if you become the person, you literally like just embody who you want to be. And that could be a mom, that could be, like I said, a millionaire, a six-figure earner. That could be an astronaut, whatever you want to do, but be that person. How do they show up every day? What are they doing? What are their hobbies? What are their responsibilities? What do they outsource? What do they delegate? What do they trade out? Who do they hire? What do they do to make their life easier so that they can become that person? And I'm not saying like, okay, immediately, okay, how would a billionaire act and go spend a bunch of money? Like if you don't have it, obviously, but you may have to make some investments in yourself, in your brand, in your business, in your career, in your relationships, where it moves the needle forward and gets you closer to being that person because you're thinking from that point of view. You're thinking from who you want to become as if you are that person now. So you're making more high level decisions based on that. Okay, so think about that. So who do you want to be? What do you need to do to get there so that you can have all the things? Think about it. Okay. Now, the second thing is somatics. This, I want to say over the last few years, it's just been more prevalent. I feel like, nervous system regulation, like we all have to be in like regulated nervous system, which is so powerful and so true. My first experience with breath work, or with somatics was breath work, and it was triactive breath. You breathe in and out through your mouth only. But it was like a belly inhale, a chest inhale, and then an exhale from your mouth. So it sounded like that's what it sounds like. And it actually, what that does, that breath work, it is so powerful. I mean, I cried so hard the first time that I ever did it. But you drop from your emotional, like from your logical mind. Again, let's think about the mind and the body. So the subconscious reprogramming of the mind, of the logic mind, you actually are dropping now down into your body. And that is where true things are stored. So you even like you can't affirmation yourself to what you're wanting all the time. I'm not going to say that it doesn't always work like that. This could be, just to give you a perspective, if you feel like you are stuck and you are constantly doing affirmations and meditating and breath, like, and not breath work, but like doing all the things logically, and maybe some people would call subconscious reprogramming not logic, unrealistic, woo-woo, whatever. But if it is more mind and logic work. Okay. So then with the somatic stuff, if you are feeling stuck, you might have to tap into the somatic work. And that could be like emotional freedom techniques. So like tapping, it's just reprogramming, neuro-linguistic, like NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, hypnosis, breath work. And breath work, it doesn't have to be the triactive breath. It could be, the 4 square box method. It could be, nostril breathing. It's connecting you and presencing you with your emotional body. But with that being said, so if you do feel like maybe stuck energetically, you feel stuck monetarily, like you haven't been able to like surpass a certain income level, then what you do is you presence yourself. And when I said I was going deeper with this, like I have studied this. I actually am certified in somatics, like on a very basic beginner level, but hypnosis, NLP, Reiki, and what is it? Emotional freedom, EFT, tapping. I want to be doing more of that because I do understand the value, and I like it's not just a buzz thing. It's not just a buzzword. It's not just a buzz like, oh, everybody's getting this regulated nervous system. Like, you got to really fucking do the work. And it's not, it's easy, but it's not, because you feel like you want to have this like huge breakthrough. And so you almost feel like frustrated because you're like, oh my God, like, is anything happening? Is anything changing? But like over time of doing the somatic work, you do start to feel different. You start to make different decisions, and you start to actually attract more of what you're wanting and becoming more of what you're wanting to become, because you're actually moving and processing those emotions and energy through and out the body. So what I'm going deeper with is that somatic. I'm going through this program right now with my first coach, Erin. It's called Regulated Revenue, and basically helping me to understand like my patterns around revenue, around money, receiving money, spending money, investing money, looking at money, right? And I recognize so far, and this is just true transparency, but there's a pattern called leaving. And I'm like, wow, okay, like that lands. Like, and it's not just with like basically my pattern, I feel like with money is that like I get it, I spend it, I know it's in flow. I've done a lot of money mindset work, of course. And but there are parts of me that like leave other things. Like even like in my business, sometimes it's like I know it's part of like manifesting generator too. It's like I get an idea, I need to execute on it. I could also execute on it, and 6 weeks later I could be like, oh, I don't really feel aligned with this anymore. So it's like I leave, right? And I like do that. But what this means is that I'm actually like going, I'm avoiding feeling it. And that's the part where I know that I am trying to not repair, because we're not broken. But what my coach had said the other day, she was like, if you can practice when you are even feeling enlightened and happy and joyful and you're celebrating stuff, like practice these modalities, the somatic work, where you can just presence yourself of like, wow, I'm actually feeling really good right now. Let me presence this. Let me actually feel that emotion like deep within me. So that what that is teaching your body to do is actually, well, it's teaching your body like, hey, this is awareness of when it feels really good. Because otherwise, what she was saying, Erin was saying, that if we're only focused on the times when if we feel stuck or frustrated or angry or disappointed or sad or shameful or guilt, if we're only focusing on the negative, then we are almost training the body that it's broken and that we're always trying to fix it. And that's not it either. Again, guys, like this all kind of goes like with like spirituality and everything. Like, you have to trust that, you are perfect. You were made whole in God's eyes and perfect in God's eyes and all of that. So it's all connected. It's just like so interestingly connected. But so anyway, so I'm learning how to presence myself and not avoid when I'm feeling frustrated about something, or, when I think I told you guys last week, I had made a really big investment in something, and it was like my ego, like there was so much chaos within my body. But what was creating it, and they even tell you to do this, like if you're having like an anxiety attack or a panic attack, it's like be with it, ride the wave of the emotions that you're experiencing. Otherwise, that resistance actually creates more chaos, and you actually get more anxious and more in panic mode. So it's the same thing. Okay. So, and that's a dysregulated nervous system, obviously. So what you do is you come together and you presence it. So last week and a half ago, when I was experiencing this chaos, what I needed to do was parent myself, or parent myself, go to little Kelly and be like, okay, I understand you're like feeling, frustrated right now, or you're feeling really anxious that you just made this big investment and maybe you could have spent money over here, or maybe you could have done this, or now you can't do this. It's almost like limitation, right? And being with it so that I trust and I know and trust that the money is coming back to me. There's not a lack, there's not scarcity. I'm not losing anything. It will return to me tenfold. That's a part of me that I'm just kind of focusing on right now. So I wanted to share kind of just what I'm going through a little bit, and what I'm sitting with more and going deeper with, because I do believe that this work is so powerful. And And I want you all to be able to, just be open to it if it comes your way. With some of my coaching, obviously, like I will incorporate some of this in with that. Not to the extent of my teachers, because obviously they're like certified breathwork facilitators and that kind of thing. But there are parts of somatic that I want to help, with the EFT or NLP, a little bit of hypnosis. I want to be able to offer that because the power of this stuff is so transformative. And again, what you're doing with the body, you're, you're, you have to, what is it? You have to feel it to heal it. And it is so true. So feel it, process it, heal it, remind the body like you're safe, everything is okay. But you got to sit with it. Allow the response to occur. So if I'm angry about something, like instead of being like, well, I don't need to be angry about that, like that's stupid. Don't shun it, don't shame it, be with it. And be with the anger and let yourself be angry, punch a pillow or something, right? So somatic work is so important and it's so potent. So I highly encourage you to take a look into it. What is her name? Gayla Darling. She does EFT. Anyways, you could probably like YouTube a bunch of stuff, but there's obviously coaches like my coach Erin Porter. She definitely is. She's somatic, deeply somatic certified. But read the book, The Body Keeps Score, and you will also understand how the body works. So again, if you are feeling stuck in any area of your life, whether it's for health, finances, relationships, career, business, your home environment, friendships, whatever thing, know that you can't just like logic yourself into who you want to become. You can't just do that. There is a level and a component of somatic work that I truly believe might get you there faster, because when you are sitting with yourself and with your emotions and you're actually processing the things, then that can happen. So remember, be, do, have. Who do you want to be? What do you need to do to get there? And what do you want to have? Right? Because once you imagine yourself and you're acting as if, so you're being, then you will do the things that line up with that person. And then you will just have, this or something better, right? So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. You know, I hope something landed. Nothing totally prophetic, but it's helpful reminders like that that can go a long way. And it's just, okay, yeah, like I constantly, maybe you're thinking like, yeah, I'm constantly like feeling like I can never catch up, or I'm never like, I never have enough, or I'm not enough. That's what a deep rooted wound is, like unworthiness or unlovable. So if you can connect with that and reparent yourself, go to little you, little inner child you, and start just giving them some love. But allow yourself to feel it. I promise it'll start feeling better for you, and you'll notice different shifts. And again, it's not like you may not have this groundbreaking like breakthrough. You might just have this like, and you feel the sensations in the body differently. The body feels different. Like it may feel like really tight. It may feel like really chaotic. But then it like, as you sit with that emotion or that feeling, it starts to like lessen and not be as chaotic, because you're actually taking time to regulate your nervous system. And when you're in fight or flight, fawn, freeze responses, you can apply this somatic work in those situations. Be like, I'm safe. I think there's one thing where you like kind of scan the room and you're like, okay, this is like five, here's a noise I hear, here's something I feel, here's something I see, and it's like you go through like the five senses. That's another somatic practice. But anyways, I know we have had a few women on here to talk about somatics before. But I really just wanted to remind you that this modality is available for you, and it will help you go deeper, and it will help you expand even more and evolve, what I would say, at a faster rate, because you're actually taking time to be with yourself and to feel and heal. And we got to do that. We got to scrape out the sediments in the pipes, not just logically, but in the body too. So mind and body experience. And yeah, don't forget to check out my courses. We have the Money Magnet, you have Online Business Accelerator, which is more like business strategy. And then you have the Rejection to Redemption, which is more like self-love, relationships, boundaries, that kind of thing. And then obviously I offered my private one-on-one coaching for female entrepreneurs looking to launch and grow a business in the online space. We go through a lot of money mindset work, a lot laws of the universe, subconscious reprogramming of the limiting beliefs and all of that, but also obviously diving into the strategy and getting your business up and running. Or maybe you were like me in the past and I had a business for like 5 years before I ever invested in a coach. And then I was like, okay, I need someone to help me with this. And just having eyes on your business is so helpful. Especially if you're like, okay, well, you're, I want to say like when you're first starting out with online business, and even sometimes when you're later on, you aren't, you're thinking from the now versus that be. Like we want to think from the being, the person who's already making the six figures, who's already making the multiple six figures, who's whether maybe you only want to make $50,000 a year, that's totally fine. But regardless, like you might be thinking from the person who's making $19,000 a year. So we got to get from like close the gap. There's a knowing doing gap. You know you want this. What do you need to do to get there? Okay. You got to be the person and then do the things to line up. Um, but it just helps close the gap faster, all of this stuff. So I want that for you. And I want to teach you how to do it. So strategy and mindset, it's almost like food. Like they say, your nutrition, it's like, okay, you could be like, it's like 80-20 rule, right? Well, it's the 80-20 rule with mindset strategy too. It's 80% mindset or even like 95% mindset and like 5% strategy. So if we can like put a system in place, put a strategy in place, get you to where you want to be. Maybe you're like, I don't have time to like work with four one-on-one clients or 30 one-on-one clients. Okay, well, what kind of program, what kind of digital course do we need to put out there so that people can maybe go through your course, DIY it, but then maybe you have like monthly calls, or biweekly coaching calls or Q&As or something like that. Like there's literally, you became an entrepreneur because you wanted to create your own life. So create it. The world is your oyster. Okay. I love you guys. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, download, all the things. That goes a long way when you share it with friends. Also, it's really, really helpful to grow the podcast. And thank you for your support always. So that's it. Tune in next week. And yeah, if you have anything that you would love for me to talk about, it could be literally anything. Send me a DM on Instagram and so I can dive into it on one of our shows, one of the episodes. So anyways, have a good week. And don't forget, chase life with Kelly. Love y'all. Bye.